Chickadee, chick, 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 chickadee, chicka, chicka.
Are those all Junie's?
Yeah. And aren't those adorable?
They are.
She has a certain je ne sais quoi.
She has a vibe to her.
Yeah.
She sticks with her vibe. Are you going to show them?
What the heck is this? Whatever it is, it's gone. Check, check. Okay. We'll call that a sound check. What is it, babe? Oh, that is adorable. I love it. I love it. I love it. Telemachus in the Pennsylvania way. And Bob and Neil and Bride G and the D.W. Low. Wear my pickle hob tonight.
I'm doing much better. Still tender, but probably not going to get in any fights. Too many of them. Oh, excuse me.
Check, 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 check. All right.
Hey, howdy, hey. Bright, sunshining day.
Hola, amigos. Hola. We're going to go officially live at a little less than 2 minutos. So glad you guys could join us this fine evening. Got some stuff to talk about. I got a new thingy that I'm working on. Check out my new thingy. So we have a brand new artist that's going to be doing some artwork for us. And I think she's doing remarkably well. And, I want to be clear that a lot of people are going to accuse us of using AI art. This is not AI art. So this is real. This is the work of.
She is not an AI 3-year-old.
She is not an AI 3-year-old. Obviously, this is Mama.
Thank you.
And this is Daddy.
Huh.
And I don't remember.
Let me guess. Am I in the middle?
Yeah, you are in the middle, and I think this was June.
Yeah, I was gonna say that usually.
This is June, and this is Joey over here, and
she has a distinctive self-portrait style.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. Oh, yep. That's June right there.
It's the incredible likeness.
Joey. Yep. Mama. Okay. Daddy. Right here. Yep. I love it. She's really getting good at the feet. She's doing really good at drawing the feet. So yeah, I think she even may have given you high heel shoes here.
I was gonna ask. I think I didn't want to get my hopes up.
I think you may have ended up with high heel shoes. And it's 8 o'clock, and that means we say something along the lines of, "Hey everybody, this is Dave here at Pulp Alley, and I am with the world's most dangerous Bessy." Hey. Hi. Hello. How you doing?
I'm okay, how are you?
I don't know. I don't know either. I don't know. I'm at a reserved judgment. So what I've been thinking is, I hope you guys are excited about the brand new character cards that are going to be released. Nah, don't go to that yet.
No, go to it. Talk about
it. Because that's not it. That's not what I'm talking about.
You said it.
No, I did not.
You said that's what you're talking about.
That's not what I'm talking about. It is not.
Agree to disagree.
Hello, everybody. Hello, New Pod Skipper. Hello, William Schmidtson. Hello, Randy Wendell. Hello, Marty Devine. Hello, Kevin. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. So, just a reminder, we got 3 brand new releases that we are taking pre-orders for. Old Deadeye. Good old Deadeye's on here. Adam is on here in the Utah land. So 3 brand new packs of cards. We have the South of the Border character cards, which is made up. You can find the beautiful artwork from Bob Murch's Mexican and Old West range of figures. So big 50 card deck there. And then the Exogenesis retro sci-fi, and I think it has like 41 character cards in it, and then it also has 9 assets, and the assets are really, really cool. So lots of fun stuff. Hopefully we'll have some of those to show you guys before too long, but don't have really anything. But the next thing, and this is something I've been wanting.
Can I go to it now?
Do you want to?
Can I?
Do you want to? Do you want
Should
to?
I?
No. Just relax, lady. Relax, lady. Get a load of this. See what happens? See what happens when you start. See what happens? See what happens?
Remember that I tried. I just want people to know. Don't just watch the commercial. Keep talking.
Available at Target. Well, I there's no reason to keep talking because we got a commercial.
They can go back and watch.
Hola, amigo. Assets. Interesting. So what I'd like to do is go back through and update our old. Will you go to this, please? I don't know why it's taking so long. I'd like to go back and update some of our old booster packs of cards and kind of update them for 2nd edition and probably try to combine them as well. I'd like to kind of cut it down to just 2 packs, just like our solo deck has 2, solo pack 1 and solo pack 2 that are add-ons if you want to expand on it. So the idea is that we kind of go through these cards and pick out the best of the best. So, and also update them. And I think the big thing for me is I should say for us, is to make them as playable as possible. So I really want
wording.
Yes. Yeah. Taking another look at the wording, make sure that there's clarity in there, and also thinking about making them even more playable so that regardless of how you're playing, whether you're playing solo, I shouldn't say it that way, because if you're playing solo, you should be using the solo deck. But if you're playing co-op, or you're playing, a 2-player versus or something like that, then we want the cards to kind of fit in there. If you're doing a scenario where you're playing against, just the scenario, we want it to work that way. So with an eye towards co-op and versus play, we want to make sure that the cards are as playable as possible so that you're not just filling your hand with cards that you're not using. So the old Phantom Pack 1 is one that will get cut down quite a bit. It came with 2 red herrings. You know what? I seem to remember somebody posting recently about, I thought somebody posted a question. I may have dreamt it, but I could have sworn that I saw a post from somebody asking about if how to know what set their cards came from, because they were wanting to get more cards, but they weren't sure if they already had that pack, and they weren't sure which packs they already got. So if you look at the cards, there's actually a little.
It's a PP.
Back in the old days of me actually doing this sort of thing, there was this number at the bottom tells you this is PP2. So all of the cards that say PP2 are Phantom Pack number 2. So that tells you at the bottom of the card where it came from. And then, when you get into PP3.
Or just PP?
or just PP. Yeah, the original Phantom Pack did not have a number on it. It just had PP on it.
Yeah,
Uh,
PP.
what are you going on about?
What?
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 What was that?
What? Oh, I can't have a little humor?
Is that what it was?
Of course it was.
Oh, I had no idea.
Really?
I had no idea.
Somebody's just jealous of...
And then you got PP. Oh no, this doesn't. This doesn't. And
See?
then I
Marty
switched
said
it up.
too. Marty said it too.
What? They've said PP.
Dave said PP. Thank you, Marty.
Answer is we need to closely examine the PPs on the cards, unless they don't have a PP, in which case they become 265. So if your card has
What was that
the
rationale?
number, you don't need to know, lady.
No, I do.
These are secret codes, lady.
They're not so secret if you're talking about them online.
So
Yeah, that's
you got 265, you got 264, 263, 262. This isn't the right camera.
No, I think they need to see my confusion.
260,
Nobody knows.
256. Nobody knows. Hey, so here's something about the cards. Who likes the... So I need some feedback from you guys as far as which cards are your favorites out of the old sets.
Mm-hmm.
Which cards do you not want to see anymore? I guess a good question would be,
Which card do you hate the most that is the bane of your existence?
who likes the play immediately cards? You know, because we used to do these cards that would say, play immediately. Place this card face up on the table until the end of the scenario. So that sort of card would just come into play, and it would stay into play, and normally it would give the winner of the scenario some extra bonus rewards.
Oh, that's crazy. We've never...
Well, we don't use...
We don't use that deck,
We don't,
so...
yeah, we don't use these cards when we're playing lives. So we don't use them as much as we used to.
I forgot about those.
The old Grin and Bear It.
Get it together.
Yeah. Get it together. Havoc. So that had some cool stuff in it. I think Phantom Pack 4 might have been one of my favorites. Another thing that I really like were these things that we had called arm injury and arm injury. So that's kind of cool when somebody fails a health check and they're injured. That you can make it something specific. Looky there, you have an arm injury. Dazed, when a character fails a health check, it does something to them. They basically lose their activation if they haven't activated yet. Out of nowhere, trauma. There's more of those. There's body wound. Suffers a -1 penalty. Their dodge. Leg injury. Headshot, you know, so those are kind of fun. Those are kind of interesting.
Adam said, I find myself hoping that the play immediately cards end up getting used for challenges rather than being drawn from my hand.
Okay.
Which in some ways I do get.
So does that mean you'd rather not see them? You would rather them not be part of the deck? Anybody else? Anybody? So if you don't use these, then you probably don't.
Bob said he liked the cards that affect characters failing a health check are neat.
Okay.
Yeah. And then there's the one on the drawing.
So.
I mean, because if I have discard abilities and I desperately need a card, being forced to use
to play it
can be unfortunate.
Yeah. So what I'd like to do is so none of these were ever officially updated for 2nd edition. None of the old booster packs. So that's what I would like to do. Is I would like to thin it down to really just 2 expansions to the Another thing I'm really wanting to do is put more bonuses in there. Like more bonuses to help you pass challenges, more bonuses for fights and things like that. So I think that I would really like to kind of focus on playability and also buffs that would help characters. Are there cards to counteract the cards like disabled arm? No.
I guess all we have is misfortune.
Right, right. There would be cards that stop you from being able to do the card where you just say no. I'm not going to allow you to do that to my character. Love to have them updated. So we probably ought to put some more counters in there, like misfortune.
Yeah.
Should probably expand on
I was
that a
thinking the
little
same
bit.
thing.
And I think we're reaching the point. Remember, when we play live on Sundays, we only use the basic starter deck.
Yep.
So that's another thing that I would like to be able to do is include more cards, but I can't reasonably do that and expect our remote players to have the same cards, right? But I could do that if we both knew, we're going to include Fortune Pack 1 in this scenario, or we're going to include Fortune Pack 2, or we're going to include all three in, the Fortune Pack 1 and 2 in the deck.
Yep.
If we knew that whoever our remote player was ready to do that, then we would be able to include more cards, and it would kind of, give a more
occasionally we
more
do like
zhuzh.
the slice and dice, and not everybody
Right,
has that.
right.
And it's always a little bit tricky
Right.
making sure that they
Right.
know exactly what.
Right.
The card
There are
is and
2 or
stuff.
3
There's a couple in
promo
there
cards that are slipped in there because, that's what we do. So, this is something that is probably a couple months down the road. It's not something that we're doing right away by any means. All of these things have to be done appropriately, have to be done, with a lot of thought and a lot of care, to make sure.
Because it's not just combining into a deck and sending it
Right,
off.
right. We're not just right. Let's see. In this
in theory,
pack,
it would be the only additions we would have.
correct. Other than promo
Other
cards
than promos,
that
but as far as
would be just
decks
giveaways.
being released,
Right.
the idea is to, be done with it once we're.
One card that I liked from this deck, and I think I might like to try and do more of these, is a hostile. So a card like this, and what this does is actually puts a level 1 character into play that is on your side. Now, I don't know that I would do it that way if I rethought it, because it says when an enemy activates. So maybe, we kind of rethink how this card is played, and maybe it puts a non-player character into play instead of putting one into play that's under your control. Maybe it's a little bit different. But anyway, I think that's pretty cool, where you can actually play this card from your hand as a fortune card and go bam, bam, you just caused another level 1 monster to appear, or a level 1, backup or NPC or something like that. So that's kind of cool. Now, the old Phantom Pack also included a bunch of rewards that have since been reprinted a couple times. So there's the original Phantom Pack really has a lot of cards that, it had double red herrings in it. This pack really needs to be retired. There's just, this one really does have, it has some cool cards in it, like Blast It. I was trying to think about a card like this where it says stack the deck. And this card might be a little too subtle. You know what I did tonight is I actually hooked up that camera. This card might be a little too subtle, but, when you read what it does, it says select, when an enemy activates, select one fortune card from the discard pile and place it on top of the deck. And is that card too subtle? Is it useless? Is it right? You know, we have to assess each one of those cards and really rethink.
Well, I mean, it would definitely take forethought.
Yes.
You would have to know what was in what had been
Right.
played.
Right. You'd have to go, oh, well, let me look through the discard pile and,
Yeah.
and go.
Can I look through the discard before I play that?
Yeah, of course you can.
Okay, well, I didn't know if I just.
Yeah.
But, I mean, you would have to have a very specific card. Like a stumble.
Uh-huh.
And I'm all right.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So it's played when an enemy activates, and you get to put a card on top of the deck. Now, you could do it that way where you're trying to get a card up there for you to draw that you want.
Like if I'm the director,
right.
Certainly.
Yeah. Another way to do it is if they're activating in a perilous area.
Yep.
If they're acting in a... So is that card too subtle, right? Is that card... I've had players use the card effectively, but is it too hard to use it effectively? You know, those are the things. Oh, that's rough. You could screw someone going for a plot point. Yeah. Yeah. Agreed. Random things showing up. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I think it... Yeah.
So that's part of the thought, you know, of going through this process is, you know, sometimes people suggest cards to us like, you know, when a character activates or when a leader activates, you know, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, that's only going to be useful when the leader activates. So that's kind of, you know, or somebody says, well, can I get a card that makes my character immune, like a fortune card that makes my character immune to horror? Well, how often are you using horror? If you're using horror in every game, yeah, that would maybe be useful, but we don't use horror that often, and it would be kind of a wasted card.
It would feel probably.
It would feel too.
We would need to broaden
it
right to other roles.
Right, exactly, and that's why when we go through and we look at these cards again, we'll also be looking at how can we make them more playable, rather than just looking at it and going, okay, well, that's a cool card, let's just include that. Yeah. How can we actually improve on it, and how can we make it even more playable to make sure that it could be done
compatible with
second edition? Yeah,
because
making
there
sure
are certainly ones in here that don't really do that.
Yep. There's the blast. You know, there's some cool cards in Phantom Pack 1, but there are also a lot of cards in there that kind of feel like they would be redundant in a way. You know?
Red Herring comes in the reward stack now, doesn't it, or no?
Yes, it comes in the rewards. Yep. You know, so, you know, one of my old favorites, and I feel bad about not getting to use it. I always really liked the Shadow Legacy. That was one of the last ones that I did, and I really got into doing the Shadow Legacy. Check out some of these. We'll put them over here on the big camera. When you rush an enemy that is not ready, your attack is unopposed. That means you get free strikes against them and they don't get to strike back. That's pretty dirty. But is it too subtle? Is it too specialized? Unseen Shot. When your active character shoots at an enemy that is not ready, it's unopposed. So those are go together. Unseen Strike, and Unseen Shot. Take control. When another player takes the initiative, you immediately steal the initiative. So
initiative would actually not
be director.
It would be director.
Right. Yeah. So that would need to suffering. When an enemy fails a health check, the enemy suffers a -1 to their shoot and finesse penalty until after they pass a recovery check. So not only is their health impacted, but their shoot and finesse. So this would only. So again, they can't see that one. Oh, you have it on the little. So again, that's one that would really only affect sidekicks and leaders, right? because you wouldn't play that. Obviously, you wouldn't play it on a follower. You would never play it on a level 1 character.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't play it on a. You could play it on a gang. Be kind of funny there, but you really wouldn't play it on a level 2 character either. So that's a card that could really only make sense for playing it on a level 3 or a level 4 character.
Well, but I mean, there's plenty of times when you play a league or you play a scenario where there's no shooting and you have out of ammo cards, and then you can use them for discards.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
That is why, children, you should always have at least one character in your league.
Yep.
That has a discard ability.
But but I would still say I would like it to be maybe a little more playable. That one I would still like it to be a little more playable. Staggering. When a character fails a health check, the enemy suffers a -1 to their brawl and might until they pass a recovery. Then we have reeling, same thing. It affects your dodge and your cunning. So those are things, I might kind of combine those with the arm injury and the headshot and things like that. Look at how those things can kind of fit together a little bit. So maybe not having both, but maybe having one or the other in there. So play.
Well, and it'll be interesting to see how many of these cards overlap in that kind of way throughout all the, and then kind of picking the best of the best.
Yep. Play for time. Here's one that comes up just automatically. You must play it immediately. It's face up on the table, and what it does is it extends the scenario by +1 turn. Bam.
We could write that better.
Just added a turn. Yeah, you're right.
Like now.
The wording, we could go back through and try to make sure it's updated for 2nd edition. Misinformed. That's got a lot of words on it. When another player passes a plot point challenge, but before they draw their reward, the plot point is not complete and they cannot take a reward or the initiative. So it's kind of like playing a red herring on them.
Yep.
That's basically what that is.
Yep.
It's a fortune card that you whammy them with a red herring. Is that just dirty? Manipulation. When another player takes the initiative, you immediately draw 2 cards. Is that a doorbell or is that the TV?
TV, I believe.
Okay. Limping. When a character fails a health check, the enemy cannot run until they pass a recovery check. I think Adam has every one of those cards in his deck. Old, new, doesn't matter. Makes for a fun game. Yeah. I can imagine it would be a lot of fun in a larger group. It's great for larger groups to have 4 or 5 versions of it. Yep. I've only played it a couple of times, but I thought a lot of cards I saw were cool. Okay, very cool. Leverage. Before you roll for a challenge, you gain a +1 bonus. If you pass the challenge, then you may immediately return this card to your hand. And that's kind of cool.
So don't forget.
Do we like those? No, go ahead.
To go back to the video once it's posted and tell us your favorites.
Yeah.
Or ones you think, oh, it's not.
Yeah. If you have these, Adam, I guess, some of you.
DW and Adam.
Yeah. I only ever add to my deck. I never take away. Oog is on here. A quick howdy. Oog, waking up in the middle of the night to say howdy. Thank you so much.
Go to bed.
Yeah. Let's see. So that's kind of cool. Do you like the cards that you can return to your hand? That was an interesting.
Yeah, because we don't really do a lot of those, do we?
Right. Yeah.
Or certainly not in the basic.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun.
Hidden agenda. When you complete a plot point, take 1 card from the discard pile and add it to your hand. Oh.
Could be good if there was something good in there.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Grudge. Before you roll to shoot or brawl an enemy, you gain a +1 bonus. If you clearly win this fight, then you may immediately return this card to your hand. Grudge.
You'd like to return things to your hand on that stack.
Yeah. Yeah, that was.
That's good.
Oh, that's good.
Let's put that in.
Let's do that again. Let's do that. Well, if you know what, if it's good for one time, stick with it. Blunder when an enemy performs an what?
No, keep reading.
What?
Keep reading.
Okay. When an enemy performs an action, the action is canceled, their activation ends, and they encounter a random peril. If the enemy is injured by this peril, then you may immediately return this card to your hand. Whammy them with a peril. In their activation, make them take a peril, and if they blow it, you get to put it back in your hand. How dirty is that?
Pretty dirty.
That's freaking dirty. That's a dirty, dirty card. Dirty, dirty card. See, that would be good with Stack the Deck, where you played Stack the Deck first.
Mm-hmm.
When they activate, you play Stack the Deck and put a naughty card on top, and then you blunder them and whammy them with that.
Return it to your hand.
Bad break. When another player plays a fortune card effect, the effect on their card is canceled, and you may take their card and add it to your hand immediately.
It's like a misfortune, but with a little
You get to
twist.
steal their
I
card.
get to take their card with me.
Not only am I going to cancel the effect of your card, I'm going to take it and put it in my hand. This was a really the Shadow Legacy is.
Well, that's
is
the
some-
baddies, though.
That
makes
was
sense.
yeah, exactly. Shadow Legacy was some evil cards. Evil
Oh
cards.
man, it's already 8:28.
Okay, all right. Well, guys, I really would. This is a group effort, so I would really appreciate your feedback and your thoughts. Share some of your favorites.
We make it for us, but if you guys are happy too, that's
Yeah. And this is also a great opportunity to come up with new ideas.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have an idea for a fortune card that you would like us to use, again, thinking about the idea of playability, and there we're talking about maximizing playability in whatever,
Different
whether
situations,
it's whether
different
it's
scenarios.
multiplayer, whether it's one-on-one, whether it's co-op, you'll be able to do it. Cards that keep you on your toes are great. So this Sunday we're playing with Jeremy Smith.
very
That's
nice.
always fun. He's a lot of fun to play with.
a hoop, some would
So
say.
Bessy, if I can get my leg,
Do a pretzel.
all right, play us out of here, Bessy. See you guys next time. Thank you for playing along. Leave us some comments. Come back and leave some comments on this one, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye, everybody. Good night.